Warning, this video will contain spoilers up to RWBY Volume 9, Chapter 3. Owned, with copyright material owned by Monty, Roosterteeth, Crunchyroll, Warner Discovery, and Warner Discovery. We'll also discuss copyright material currently owned by the family of Lewis Caroll and Disney. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. Mom was telling me she was leaving for a class that she wouldn't get back until 9:30 or so about before. But regardless, everything I say is covered under Fair Rights Usage Act. So just because I say your name doesn't mean you can take me off the air. Today I'm going to discuss one of the more recent characters to pop up in the series, the Curious Cat. Now he's basically RWBY's take on the Cheshire Cat. I like the concept. My issue is with the design of the character. Namely, it reminds me less of the Cheshire Cat and more of Schrodinger's cat. For those who don't know what the Schrodinger's cat is, it's basically a thought experiment about quantum superposition, paradox of quantum superposition, created by Erwin Schrodinger in 1935. In a discussion he had with Albert Einstein, Schrodinger explained, did this setup. A cat with in a box, you have a cat. Now with a flask of poison and a radioactive source are placed inside the box. If an internal monitor, i.e. a Geiger counter, detects radioactivity, the flask gets shattered, releasing the poison, which kills the cat. The implication that if you open the box, this implies, which basically subverts the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, implying that after a while the cat is both dead and alive. Yet when one looks in the box and sees the cat either alive or dead, not both alive and dead, it poses the greater question of when exactly quantum superposition ends. As it really resolves one into one possibility or the other, not both. But to me, now why am I saying this? Well, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card that had the cat that was centered around the Schrodinger's cat several years ago. And yeah, now going into territory owned by Kazuki Takahashi and the late Kazuki Takahashi and Konami. But that said, when I think of the Cheshire Cat, I usually think of a pinkish, purplish, pudgy, mischievous trickster who fades in and out and causes Alice nothing but trouble. And I'm using both the 1951 animated Disney film and a 1992 to 1995 rather obscure live-action series called Adventures in Wonderland that Disney pumped out. You probably wouldn't have heard of this one. The latter unless as a kid you had Disney, because back in the day when cable television was still was still in a relative point of its infancy, Disney was basically doing its own independent cable station. You had to pay for it separately from along with your traditional cable package in order to watch those sorts of shows like that, Welcome to Pooh Corner, Dumbo Circus, and etc. for quite a few years. And this included watching several movies that were considered box office bombs that Disney threw on the station that became massive cult hits, as well as some of their older made-for-television films. But regardless, the point is, when I think of the Cheshire Cat, that's what I usually think of it. Not this wispy, almost like poisoned to death, everywhere and nowhere feline. That's my basic gripe in this video. I'm not a fan of the Cheshire cat design. It reminds me too much of the Schrodinger cat. I mean, of Schrodinger's cat, not the Cheshire cat. That's my main problem with the design of the Curious Cat. He reminds me less of the Cheshire Cat and more of Schrodinger's cat. And if you're wondering about the whole Adventures in Wonderland thing, I left a link in the description to to a video done by the famous Defunctland TV station, Defunctland TV YouTube channel, that discusses that particular show. Still considering if I should bug him or not to do an episode centered around Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider series from the 90s. What? I'm a fucking 90s kid. Deal with it. Anyway, leave a comment, smash the like, and sub to the channel. This is Mets2128 signing out. Goodbye, and good night. Bang. Or maybe I should do for these RWBY investigations, case closed.